All right, so recently Tony Hinchcliffe did Steve-O's podcast, and they started talking about the Gringo Papi and Brendan Schaub. They got into that whole mess, and it was pretty funny how it was brought up because Tony was talking about some comedy dates that he's doing. I guess he's only doing a few days in December, but one of the places he's performing at is the Arlington Improv, where Brendan Schaub actually filmed his special, and Steve-O points that out, and they both just start laughing about it. And then Tony's like, wait a minute, how do you know that? I didn't even know that. And also he's probably thinking, are you sure they want that information out there? Are you sure they want to be associated with that? No, I'm just kidding. They should be honored that Brendan had his special there. That was a legendary event. Who is going to forget that? Like, Steve-O knew where it was filmed. That's pretty impressive. And it also shows that he's definitely following all the Brendan Schaub lore, like most of these comedians. Like Tony Hinchcliffe, for example, when he was on Theo Von's podcast, they were talking about it, and Tony said he's been following it all. Like, his whole YouTube page is just Brendan Schaub content. But he doesn't like to talk about it like on his podcast or publicly because he doesn't want to get involved in the drama. And these comedians have to be careful because they probably know if they say something about it, it's going to be clipped and shared on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, which is a pretty big subreddit at this point. And if the wrong thing gets clipped and you upset Brendan, he could go run into Joe. And then if Joe cuts you off, no more plugging your butt wipes. Like, that could be it. But I don't think people have to worry about it that much anymore because I think Joe's just over it. I don't think he would listen to Brendan really because I think somebody claimed, it might have been Kalila, so I guess this doesn't give it much credibility, but I think somebody claimed that Brendan went running to Joe during the whole Bobby Lee thing and was trying to get him involved in it. And I don't think Joe wanted anything to do with that. And obviously all that backfired, so I don't think Joe's really listening to Brendan anymore. All right, so now let's just get into the clip here. Tony Hinchcliffe and Steve-O talking about the Gringo Papi and Brendan Schaub.
I have December off except for Arlington, Dallas in the middle of December. And that's a 2.5 hour drive. So that's really, really easy. No airports.
You mean the Arlington where Gringo Papi was filmed?
Wait, is that where that was filmed?
Is it?
The Dallas Improv, Arlington?
I think so, yeah.
That's where Gringo Papi was filmed.
Oh, no.
Dude, tough act to follow.
Pressure's on.
Oh, man. How do you know that? How do you know that was filmed there?
I was fascinated by the entire I even know where the construction paper came from.
Oh my god.
I even know who cut it out.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, we all are. We're all very fascinated about it.
It was fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, I'm particularly close to that because of the known for other things coming into stand-up, like first special on Showtime, and then like putting out the second special on your own.
35 minutes.
25.
Was it really?
It was 25.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. It's like death by 1,000 self-inflicted paper cuts or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. But yeah, like so I was particularly, cause it's like and I don't know, I care a lot,
Yeah.
You still feel that way though, because people are always saying like,
I mean, hey,
Tom Tony gave you kudos.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, you really worked your ass off.
I've found my stride in what I do, and I'm perfectly comfortable about it. I don't think and I'm not like claiming to be so great, I think that's the other problem there. It's that when you're like,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're like, oh yeah, dude,
It's a study. This is yeah. I mean,
I love hearing comedians talk about this because it sounds like they have a lot to say about it, but they don't want to say the wrong thing, so they're kind of careful about it, even though they both clearly find the whole thing hilarious, and they both follow it pretty closely. Like, Steve-O knew exactly how long Gringo Papi was, and he knew where it was filmed. It's crazy that he knows that. I don't think Brendan knows that at this point. So it sounds like Steve-O's really into it all, which makes sense because most comedians are. But also, like he was saying, he had a similar experience to Brendan, like having a career in something else, then jumping into comedy and already having a fan base. A lot of other comedians hate that kind of thing because they feel like they're putting in so much work, and then somebody just comes along and already has a huge audience and is able to do a special. which obviously with Brendan Schaub, we saw that didn't really work out the best. But when he first started, I think it was Joey Diaz was giving him a lot of shit for it. And people still give him shit, but it's a different kind of thing now. I think comedians are more just like, what is this? Like, what's going on here? This is hilarious. No one's really mad about it. But Steve-O had to deal with the same kind of thing. Like, after he was years into it, he said he got on stage one night, did material, and sat down. Then Al Madrigal went on stage and just ripped him apart for doing stand-up and acting like he's disrespecting it by doing it.
Well, when I get off the stage, and I'm thrilled because people laughed. You know, and I sit in the crowd. The host brings up the next comic. The next comic is Al Madrigal. He walks out and he goes, "Oh my God, what did we just see? We just saw Steve-O working on new material. And he's just like, I just can't take it anymore. Like, I just can't believe that, you know, that this thing that I consider my calling in life, stand-up comedy, that I care about it so much, and now we have Steve-O and Dustin Diamond out here doing this thing." He's like, I can't believe that these people are taking something that's so sacred to me and just using it as their last resort. And I'm sitting right there watching them say this shit. I'm like,
I guess comedians just take their shit really seriously, probably too seriously. Like Joe Rogan, he does it as well, but not in this kind of way. Like, he's almost too supportive of people, but then also at the same time, he's always like, oh, there's only 1,000 of us. Like, you know how hard it is to be a comedian. You have to have a different mind. You have to put in so much work. It's like a science. But at least he doesn't get all offended like when Steve-O gets into comedy, and he was actually very supportive of him. And also Brendan Schaub, maybe a little too supportive of Brendan Schaub, but at least he's not some guy who's like, oh man, you guys aren't real comedians. This isn't fair. I put all this work into it and you just jump into it and have an audience. You got to work for it. I think that's all a little ridiculous because in the end, it all evens out. Like, obviously it hasn't gone the best for Brendan Schaub. He's had specials. He's made some money off of it, but I don't think he's in the best position as a comedian. And with Steve-O, people go to see him, but I don't think anybody's talking about how he's the best comedian or anything like that. And I think most people just know him from YouTube and podcasting and Jackass. His comedy career is never going to be bigger than those. And I think he's humble for the most part. You know, I'll take his word for it. Like at the end of that clip that I played with him and Tony talking about Brendan, it sounded like that's what he thinks one of the differences between him and Brendan. Like, I don't know if that's what he's trying to say, but that's what it sounded like to me at least. And it sounds like Steve-O has been analyzing Brendan Schaub for a while, so he's probably got it figured out, maybe. I don't know. I'd like to see them get together and maybe talk about it. That'd be cool. And it's cool that he's following all this drama. It sounds like he has a lot to say about it. Hopefully he talks about it more. That'd be awesome. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Make sure you leave me a comment. Then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.